So the NFL playoffs are finally here. It's been a long season, lots of twists and turns, a lot of unexpected results, in my opinion, in terms of the teams that we see in the playoffs, see not in the playoffs. But yeah, the playoffs are here. So this video, I'm just going to be giving my predictions for these games. I'm going to start in the NFC, actually, with the 2 versus 7 game. We got Green Bay and Chicago. Chicago has been having a great season for them, one of their best seasons in a long time. I think probably since 2018 when they won. I think they won the division in 2018. Yeah. And yeah, things are looking good for them. I know they lost to the Lions last week. Ben Johnson still can't beat Dan Campbell, it appears, but yeah, they've been having a great season. Green Bay, on the other hand, they've been dealing with some injuries. They're trending downwards right now. Obviously, we know the injuries to Parsons. The pass rush hasn't really been there. However, I think what's important to note in this game is Green Bay, they beat them the first time. They beat Chicago the first time. And they also had Chicago on the ropes the second time. Chicago needed an onside kick to beat Green Bay at home. And I understand that the defense isn't really what it used to be for Green Bay, but I'm also not too confident in the Chicago defense. And I think in these moments, I'm going to go with experience. So I'm going to take the Packers in this one. Then they would advance to play the Seahawks. Then we got the Eagles and the Niners. Now, if there's one team that I expect the Eagles offense to get going against, because we all know the offense has been putrid of late. It's the San Francisco defense. This San Francisco defense, I know the scoreline wouldn't suggest it against Seattle, but it feels like they were constantly on their back foot. And then we know they gave up a bunch of points to the Bears, and they ended up winning that game, but still they gave up a bunch of points. Um, this is where I think championship DNA is going to help the Eagles. I know their offense hasn't been struggling, but their defense is as solid as it uh, has ever been. And so I'm going to go with the Eagles to win this game. The Rams and Panthers. Look, this one, I know the Panthers won earlier in the season. I think that was a bit of a fluke. Keep in mind the Panthers are 8-9, and it's been a great story for them. Bryce Young, gotta love it for that guy. That they're finally having success. But Devontae Adams is back. This passing attack for the Rams is not to be taken lightly, and I think for that reason they will get the win. Should be pretty handily in that one. Chargers and the Patriots. This is an interesting one because the Chargers actually sat their players. It's almost as if they wanted to go to New England to take on the Pats, who are having, or Drake May is having a career year already. Um, and everything is rainbows and sunshine in Foxborough once again. But this is an interesting game because New England, I feel like both of these teams have a very strong passing offense. However, I'm really concerned about the O line for the Chargers. It's been really banged up. We've seen Herbert on the run, lots taking sacks. And I think this New England defense, if they can get to him, then they're going to find success because I know that New England will be able to score in this game. And I think for that reason, I'm going to go with the Patriots. Then Buffalo and Jacksonville. This is probably the worst draw that Buffalo could have gotten because, in my opinion, the Jaguars are probably the hottest team in the AFC right now. And I know they might not be getting as much media appearance, as much media time, um, but this team is legit. I mean, this defense is good. Their offense is playing really well. Trevor Lawrence having a very sneaky but really good year. And then, so all signs would point towards picking Jacksonville. However, this is Buffalo. We know the heartbreak that they have gone through the past few years, and it feels like this is one of those games where you can count on Josh Allen to make the plays to win this game. Buffalo's defense has been playing better recently. People forget that. I know that they lost to the Eagles, but if they would have won that game against the Eagles, then they'd be sitting here 13-4 as probably one of the hottest teams in the whole league. And I know it's an if, and ifs don't exist, but I still have confidence in this Buffalo team. I think they should have kicked the extra point in that game. I think they would have beaten the Eagles in overtime, but that's besides the point. This is, I think, going to be a very telling game and a very pivotal game. I think this is the most important first round game and out of all six of these games because I truly think the winner of this game can go all the way to the Super Bowl. But I'm actually going to go with the Bills. I think they're going to take this one. Josh Allen, this might just be his year. No Mahomes, no Jackson. He's got to take advantage of this. Then Houston and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they ended up not going 9-8. They went 10-7. I really thought they were going to lose that game there for a second. They got maybe a little bit lucky with the Tyler Loop missed field goal. ended up leading to the firing of John Harbaugh. But Aaron Rodgers in his first year has got the Steelers in the playoffs, and then you got Houston, who somewhat similarly to the Jaguars, I feel like they're not getting talked about as much, but this defense is really, really good. And this offense, when they click, is really good. So I think that's kind of the wild card, so to speak, for them is they have to get their offense going because I think their defense is going to play really well against Pittsburgh. However, Pittsburgh, they got DK Metcalf back. They were able to survive without him. It's going to be a close game, but I like the Texans and this defense to get it done. Now in the divisional round, we got Packers coming into town to take on Sam Darnold and the number one ranked Seahawks defense. Um, yeah, this like I just said, the Seahawks defense is really, really good. They held the Niners to wait, was it 3 points that they held the Niners to? Something like that. Yeah, dominated the Niners to get the one seed, and I'm feeling good about Sam Darnold in this offense. I mean, Walker and Charbonnet is a great backfield, or a great back duo. Um, and then you've got Darnold. We know he's struggled in big games before. I thought he played pretty well against the 49ers, but again, that's always something you have to kind of be concerned about. I do like this defense to put the hurts to Jordan Love and the Packers enough to get the Seahawks a win, though. Then the Rams and Eagles. Rams probably should have beaten the Eagles earlier in the season, but they end up losing that game on a block kick, which, maybe that's not, maybe they shouldn't have won the game if they can't block for a kick. But however, this is where I think the Eagles' offense is kind of going to get exposed, and it's been getting exposed recently. But I think this is where it's going to come back to hurt them because I have confidence in the Rams scoring and against pretty much anyone. We've seen them do it, and I feel like their defense, if they can just get off the field enough times, which shouldn't be too difficult against this Eagles offense, which has been really disappointing this season. The Rams are going to get this win. I think they're going to do just that. A rematch of last year's divisional round game, but I got the Rams taking this one. Then in Denver, we've got the Bills taking on the Broncos, and the Broncos, I'm having a hard time getting fully sold on them just because um, I know they're the one seed, but it feels like they haven't been as dominant of a one seed as we've seen in the past. And I guess you could say that with the Seahawks, but I like what I'm seeing from the Seahawks a little more. And this is another game where I like Josh Allen. I like the Bills. I know Denver defense is tough, but I'm not too confident in the Denver offense either. So I'm actually gonna take the Bills in this one and another upset. I like what yeah, it's just I think this is a year that Buffalo has to take advantage of, and I think they're going to. Then the Pats and the Texans, this is probably a trendy upset pick for the Texans because of their defense, but I like that this is a home game for the Patriots. I like Drake May. This offense, maybe we'll see their defense start to get to CJ Stroud a little bit. And I think if you do that, then you put yourself in a really good spot to win. So I'm going to take the Pats in this one. Then we got championship games, Seahawks and Rams. I think the Rams should have beaten the Seahawks the second time. They kind of threw that game away. Um, and this is where I originally had the Seahawks, but then I thought to myself, and I'm like, do I really see Sam Darnold and the Seahawks beating Matthew Stafford and the Rams? And I just don't. I just don't. And it's nothing against the Seahawks. I could totally see this game going either way. Um, but I trust the Rams more simply because they've been there before. And I think when they're rolling, and they're probably the best team in the whole league. And then we got the Bills and the Patriots. This is another two divisional matchups. I didn't even realize that. NFC West and AFC East. This is another one that could really go either way. And the Patriots won at the Bills Stadium in what was that, week 2 or week 3? And then the Bills came back to Foxborough and they won. And again, I'm going with the Bills. I like um I like Josh Allen. I think if they get 2 wins under the belt, like I said, obviously every game is, you lose, you're out. If they get that win against Jacksonville, I think the confidence builds in this team because I think it would probably get easier from there, as crazy as it sounds. I think Jacksonville, again, was the worst draw they could have had. I think if they get to this point, they're going to have the confidence, and I think they will do enough things to beat the Patriots and finally get to the Super Bowl. And then we got the Rams and the Bills. And this one, this is I wonder if this is the most popular Super Bowl prediction. Maybe the Seahawks and Bills. I don't know. But yeah, this two great quarterbacks. You got the gutsy veteran Matthew Stafford who's having an MVP caliber season, and then you got Josh Allen. We know what he can do. Um, I think this would be a high scoring affair if it were to come down to this. We know that both these offenses can get rolling, but ultimately, in the end, I got the Los Angeles Rams winning this thing. I think when they are clicking, they're the best team in the league. And I think that even though they're the 5 seed, I think they go on the road throughout these playoffs and then take it all and win the Super Bowl. Anyways, guys, those are my NFL playoff predictions. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you in the next video.